Your renders take forever, but it doesn't have to be that way. In this video, I'll share with you 5 of the most effective techniques that pro 3D artists use to speed up your render times. If you're ready to start rendering smarter and faster, let's jump into method number 1. Switching to GPU. This one might sound a bit obvious, but if you own a GPU, it's important to make sure that you're actually using it. This not only will improve your render time, but it's super easy to do. To enable your GPU in Blender, all you have to do is go to Edit, Preferences, and then System. There, you can select your GPU as CUDA or Optics if you have an NVIDIA graphics card, HIP if you have AMD, or Metal if you are on Mac. Also, make sure that just your GPU is checked in the box below. Then, just go to Render Properties and set the device to GPU Compute. If you weren't using your GPU before, this should definitely help a lot. For example, this scene took an astonishing 17 hours to render without a GPU, but after enabling the GPU, it went all the way down to 13 minutes and 11 seconds. Just as a quick bonus, you can also use your GPU for compositing and denoising just to save some extra time. But if you really want to optimize your renders, then you'll definitely use method number 2. Noise Threshold. Noise threshold is a super easy way to drastically decrease render time in Blender. So here's how to use it. All you have to do is click on the Render Properties tab, and under the Render section of Sampling, check the Noise Threshold box. Great, now we have Noise Threshold enabled, but what does it actually do, and how do we know what number to set? Let me explain. Without Noise Threshold, Blender would render every single pixel with the same amount of samples, even if some pixels are already clean and ready. This wastes a lot of time. So what Noise Threshold does is it determines how many samples a pixel actually needs before it can be considered clean and ready. Now that we know what the Noise Threshold does, let's choose the number to set it to. The default 0.01 is already a super low number, meaning it will take a lot longer for your render to finish. So for this scene, I'm going to set it as 0.1. Now, if we render it, you'll notice our render time has decreased drastically, going from 13 minutes and 11 seconds down to just 1 minute and 22 seconds. However, be careful, as setting the number too high can result in some ugly artifacts and smudging from the denoising. Now we're really speeding up our renders, but let's dive deeper with method number 3. Light Path Optimization. A super important setting in Blender is light paths, which controls how light bounces throughout your scene. This setting has a huge effect on your render time, so let's learn how to use it. Click on the Render Property tab, and then click on the Light Paths dropdown. Here you can see all the light path settings. By default, Blender automatically uses 12 bounces. However, this is pretty overkill depending on what your scene is. This is because different scenes require different bounce amounts. For example, if you have a scene with a lot of windows with light bouncing through it, you're going to want to use a higher number. However, for most scenes, this isn't really something you have to worry about. So try lowering your total bounces to a number like 8 or even 4. Feel free to experiment and find the number that works best for your scene without harming the visuals. For this example scene, changing these settings got my render time from 1 minute and 22 seconds down to exactly 1 minute, a 26.83% decrease. But if you really want to learn how to save even more time, then you'll implement method number 4 into your workflow. Persistent data. Whenever you render anything in Blender, surprisingly, it doesn't actually start rendering immediately. Instead, it starts calculating a bunch of data at the top, which takes a while and can really drag out your render time. But don't worry, there's a really useful setting you can activate to shave off a bunch of time from your renders. Simply click on Render Properties, click on Performance, and under Final Render, check Persistent Data. What this setting does is it tells Blender not to calculate all the data for each frame it renders. Instead, it only calculates the data once when it renders the first frame and stores it in its memory. And now, for each frame, it reuses that data so it doesn't have to calculate it each time. This saves a bunch of time. So for instance, if you're rendering out animations, this can save you hours. In the simple 240 frame or 10-second animation, it was able to save me over an hour and 8 minutes in total. That's a bunch of time shaved. Now, let's move on to the final way to increase render speeds with method number 5. Instancing. If you have a scene where you need multiple of the same object, you may have thought to just press Shift D. However, when you do this, you create a full separate copy. and with each duplicate, you're increasing the polygons and the amount that Blender has to read when it's rendering. This massively increases not only your render times, but also your memory usage. The workaround for this is through a process known as instancing, which is an alternative to duplicating that duplicates a mesh while sharing the same mesh data, speeding up renders a ton. To do this, all you have to do is press Alt-D, and now you've created linked duplicates. This is perfect for large-scale scenes like forests, cities, crowds, or really just any scene where you need to repeat the same object over and over again. For example, in this forest scene with 100 trees, instancing the trees alone reduced my render time by 75.14%, from 2 minutes 18 seconds all the way down to 34.35 seconds. And that's it! Those were 5 of the best ways to speed up render time in Blender. If you enjoyed the video or just found it helpful, please consider liking, subscribing, and commenting below so I know you want more of it. With that being said, I'll catch you next time.